Hey,
Hello,
hey.
everybody. Oh, an anonymous
Hey.
gifter popped in with another set of gift subs. Goodness gracious. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I was not
No
expecting the,
worries
the
at all.
gifties. All right. Let me grab your assets and get you guys loaded up on the screens. These TVs aren't busted, they're just slow.
It is
Nice
a-okay.
chairs
I
too.
work with technology constantly. Having things be broken is just part of the job.
Well, it's like we were saying at the start of the stream. If you're not dealing with scuff, are you really on a stream?
That's a good point.
All right, we got a primitive up, and now it's time for us to get Rambi. There's a Rambi, and let's go ahead and grab Biosic as well.
My mushroom face, it now exists on the internet. Oh gosh. Oh
It
geez.
it does indeed, and
Oh,
now you will forever be known. All of China knows you're here.
Goodness me.
Well, as long as I'm fabulous, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, close enough. I need to make you face the right direction, though.
No, I'm just looking the other way. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's okay. We've had a few people facing the other direction. I had to spin them around a little.
I'll just shout really, really loud so you can hear me.
Yeah, that probably works. All right. Now, if you guys could go ahead and introduce yourselves and let us know the things that you work on and the game that you're working on, I would love for you guys to, in your own words, describe your project.
sure. So my name is James, but most people just call me Prim or Primitive. I'm the creator of Seed of Nostalgia and Primitive Pixels, our little studio working on this. Um, the project's been going for a few years now, but it's really kind of been solidified and kind of gone into like full blown production as of the spring of this year after we had a Kickstarter campaign. But for
Which went
those that don't know, Seed of
phenomenally.
Nostalgia, yeah, it went mind-blowingly. I'm still reeling in shock. But for those that don't know, Seed of Nostalgia is a classic inspired role-playing game in the Japanese tradition. So if you're familiar with games like the classic Final Fantasies or Golden Sun or Chrono Trigger or anything like that, it's essentially the what the game is, and it's sort of our take on everything that made those classic JRPGs of the 90s so special and memorable and kind of life changing and genre changing, and bringing that like a kind of our own love and passion for that genre and bringing it to modern audiences, but keeping it very classic. I want it to basically feel like you're like I did when I was a little kid, popping a cartridge in the Super Nintendo, and sitting in front of your CRT TV and like exploring a really crazy and magical world and narrative and character. So that's essentially in a nutshell what Seed of Nostalgia is.
So, what do each of you do on the project?
I can
So I'm the
start with
game.
that one,
Yeah, go ahead.
if that's okay. All right, yeah. I am the primary coder of basically the entirety of the video game. There was quite a big code base that was received from a lot of community assets that I was brought in on, and I am working on adding a lot of custom functionality and UI through the coding aspect for this game. And my self-defined job is to try to make the game work as fast and as beautifully as possible. If you are experiencing frame rate issues, I have failed.
Oh, and real quick, Tahuti, I do see those redeems. I'll be getting to those while we are getting more introductions out of the way. What about Rambi? Rambi, we haven't heard from you yet. What kind of stuff do you work on whenever it comes to Seed of Nostalgia?
I'm uh I'm pixel artist and animator for Seed Nostalgia. I do a lot of animation touch-ups and UI design, making sure things look pretty on the screen.
Birds.
And successful she has been. It has been a wonderful.
Oh yeah, I mean honestly, it's a gorgeous friggin' project. I mean, like it wrote me in for sure. The Kickstarter was successful, and I mean that was what kind of pulled me in the gate. I mean, you guys hooked me almost instantly as soon as I saw some art on it, and I was like, oh shit, that looks cool. That seems like Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana sort of mixed together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you kind of talked about how like a primary inspiration for the game is going to be a lot of old school games and whatnot. Is that the same for everybody who's working on the project?
I think that everybody kind of has their own inspirations that they draw from creatively, and that's kind of a really cool benefit for us too. Is that we're, as a team, not so tunnel visioned on things. Everybody kind of has the games and also many different other inspirations too. That kind of inspires what they're doing. So we get a good mix of things, but I think that the general inspiration, yes, of course, is classic games in the genre. A lot of just a lot of old school stuff. A lot of movies and anime from the '80s and early '90s. Some philosophy, mysticism of the world. There's a lot of things that are going into the story beyond just video games, but it's definitely for me that's the big reason why I wanted to start making games and get into this in the first place.
And for my side, prior to Seed of Nostalgia, I was trying to make my own game, which was about a year and a half undertaking. And I found out very, very late in the game that, oh my gosh, being the only person doing everything, literally everything for a game, far too much. Cannot do that. So once I got reached out to from Primitiv to be able to work on this game, I was just like, you know what? Sure, let's see how this goes. And looking back on my game now, I'm just like, I'm gonna need a team, and I'm not gonna be touching this for the next 10 years. I'm done. But this game has been wonderful. I, interestingly enough, and this is a controversial take, I'm not that much of a gamer. I don't have time. I'm just a coder. I like make numbers go vroom vroom.
I think that's fair, dude. I mean, we're all really busy. Again, a recurring theme of a lot of the interviews today have been about how we're all adults with adult lives, and that's pretty fucking hard sometimes. So it's like,
Yeah.
I am 30.
yeah,
I just turned 30. I'm waiting for my life-defining medical event.
it's bound to happen eventually, buddy. You'll get there. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yay!
So what about you, Rambi? Is old school video games a big passion for you on this project then?
Yeah, absolutely. I really like the Mother series, and I hope
Great
that a lot
choice.
of that inspiration comes through in my art for it. I liked Chrono Trigger a lot,
Yes.
and I tried to play
yes.
Burnley Final Fantasy, and I never really got into it, to be fair. No, I love a lot of those Earthbound inspired RPGs. So stuff like Undertale and Deltarune were a lot of the inspiration I took from as well. Especially like the
Ironically,
writing and how the world
yeah.
building goes in from that.
Mhm. Ironically, my inspirations tend to come from more stronger story-based, more modern things. Persona 5, as of right now, is basically like the one thing that I keep looking back to when it comes to stylizations and presentations of information, just because it took a very strong artistic, like left turn from the traditional ways of presenting information and did
Yeah.
it so utterly fabulously while still being legible too. Like
Mm-hmm.
the creative art direction that it took, it could have ended up being almost a complete mess, but it has somehow managed to be both incredibly stylized and like bordering but never actually crossing that legibility line. And that is where I want to try and bring in as much like creative interpretations to where we can make something that looks potentially gorgeous while still taking inspirations from all of our classic interpretations and all of our classic inspirations while still being like new gen, gorgeous, and obviously running on 60 FPS. I'm going to emphasize that point because, good lord, I am doing the majority of the coding for this video game on a wheat thin of a laptop, and that is going to be my challenge.
Fair enough, dude. Speaking about beautiful things, do you guys mind if I show everybody in chat right now the latest trailer for the game?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Oh my
Yeah, sure.
god, we're
I-
gonna have to show the beautiful thing we made? Oh
I
no.
I know. I want them to be able to see it. Like we're talking about it, but I mean, like, what does it matter to them until they see it? So let's show it off. I want to see it. Let me go ahead and pause this, and I'm gonna kick this on, and we're gonna let everybody watch it starting about now. There we go, everybody. We had an advertisement wanting to come in there, but that was the trailer for Seed of Nostalgia. It looks amazing, doesn't it? Pixel art, fantastic. Music, amazing. You guys have done an amazing job so far. I really do want to see what's coming up next, too.
No, thank you so much.
I am looking forward to seeing what's coming up too. Like,
Thank you.
having being head first into the code, there's some aspects that I tend to miss just because the numbers and the text and the code obviously are not as the final product. So I'm excited to see what's coming up too.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to know. I mean, if you guys can actually share anything, what is the story of Seed of Nostalgia? Can you kind of give us the back of the book synopsis?
Sure. It's a bit of a challenge because a big central part of the story in the game is kind of a case of there's a lot more than meets the eye on the surface level. It's kind of being crafted around several very key, specific sort of revelations that happen. So it has always been a bit of a challenge to kind of explain the story without giving away any of the stuff that's going to make it kind of really impactful. But essentially, boiled down, spoiler-free version, Seed of Nostalgia follows the tale of a boy named Attila who grew up on a very peculiar village called Arboreum, which is located at the top of a giant world tree called Verdantala. And as the game opens, it's the final day of his training in this this ancient 1,000-year-old order of guardians and warriors from Arboreum. It's called the Order of Lumen, and the game opens on his last training day before he will go on a very special rite of passage called his Ascendancy. And these sort of spirit blades in the order, once they finish their training, they have to ascend to the very top of this tree to visit essentially their sort of god, this entity called the Luminite. And he's supposed to go and offer his blood in reverence to their deity, and the Luminite grants these warriors this special power to use this specific kind of magic that's based in spirit. And so that's sort of how the game opens. The broad thing is that there was a massive calamity 1,000 years before the game takes place. And I don't want to get too into the depth of that, but this calamity set something into motion that is sort of reaching its zenith point when the game starts out, unbeknownst to the characters. So something catastrophic happens during this ascendancy ritual, and Attila is forced to be the first person of his people, the Arborians, to actually have to descend this world tree down into the lands below and try to find a way, the source of this sort of calamity, and how to fix it before their home, the tree, and largely the planet starts to rot away and die. And so that's sort of a big piece of the story, is that the main character is sort of entering this world, the world of Silvara, as someone who has never experienced or seen anything about human life and culture outside of the people that are on this tree. Because there were many events before the game opens. One of them is a large war that happened between two rival kingdoms in Silvara. And these kingdoms made a plot to go and try and capture the Luminite to use this sort of godlike entity as a weapon against the others. This forced the Arborians and the Order of Lumen to destroy what are called port gates, which are these sort of magical portals that allowed them to transport from the top of the tree to the bottom of the tree. So they had to retreat at that point about 100 years before the game opened. And this means that Arborians for the last generation or two are completely naive to the world, to humanity and all of the races and people that are living in the kingdoms and the politics and all of this. They're just they have no clue about it, and they really didn't want to know about it. So our main character sets off into Solvara with this sort of innocence, this naivety about how things really are. And that's kind of an important part through the main narrative, is him sort of discovering all of the good and all of the evil of human, of men, of humankind, and how he changes as a person in reaction to what he witnesses as he's trying to fulfill his duty and do this thing. And he meets a lot of other characters. A big part of the genre, is having a full cast of characters that, for their own reasons, as you play through, have their own reasons for joining your merry little band, to set off to sort of save the world. And that sort of gives us so many different perspectives. Everyone has their own reasons for doing it and their own personal agendas as well. But essentially, the surface level tale is their world is dying, and they are setting off to scour the continent that they live on, Silvara, to try and find a way to heal Verdanthala and prevent this unseen corruption that seems to have been set in. And there are a cast of antagonists as well, that are seemingly trying to undo anything that they're trying to set in further into motion and accelerate this sort of destruction of the world. And they have their own very twisted reasons for that, which I can't get super into, but people will start to see that very soon as we can disclose more of that story side.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's going to unfold fast. Like, I mean, it seems like very quickly, almost reaching like a narrative terminal velocity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is actually
and
kind
the
of
crazy thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and the crazy thing is that's all very surface level, what's happening and how it feels. But there's a sort of major catalyst point slightly after halfway through the game
Uh-huh.
that sort of reveals that a lot of things were not at all like how they appeared throughout the game, and there's sort of this really massive cosmic shift that happens at that point in the game, which for me that's the most exciting element. That everything surrounding the realness of what's actually happening, and we're really trying to sell that. Hopefully, when players get to those points in the game, it's going to be a really big, shocking moment.
It is kind of ironic to me that like we're like this big tree is such like a central part of the game, and whether you know it or not, we're broadcasting out of a giant tree right now. How does that feel? A little bit ironic,
Feels
isn't it?
Great.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here for
it. Well, so I have to ask you guys, because I feel like we're going to run out of time so quickly otherwise. What are some mechanics that are going to be a part of this game that you were excited to play with, that you feel like will kind of set you apart from like your standard RPG fare?
So yeah, that's a great question. I I think that while our major goal has never been to kind of reinvent the wheel,
Yeah.
I think that we're doing a lot of things that are kind of in the early execution phase, and we've been concepting them, and we do every time we end up talking. But in combat, we're really trying to make all of, because combat is such, I mean, it's really the meat of a role playing game. You're
Oh
building
yeah.
these characters in order to do better in that. So we want to keep combat to where it's very easy to digest, and like when you see it and you start playing the tutorial fight, or you're fighting enemies in the beginning, we're really trying to make it so it's very easy to get into and to fight and to understand what to do. And we're just taking each little element of that, and we're making something interesting about it. So a lot of games in the genre, they have like their big hook for combat, whatever that is, for better or worse. Like Mario RPG kind of brings in this like timed attack sort of meta mini game.
Oh yeah, legendary
combat,
system at this point.
Yeah, and now it's basically across the board. People want it. It's just fun to have a little bit of like tactile control of whether you're going to land big hits or defend right and stuff like that, or what have you. They'll have field conditions like in Chrono Cross or something like that. Lots of these sort of interesting things. The materia system in Final Fantasy VII. So we're trying to, instead of just picking like one big thing, and this is like, here's our one big combat hook, and this is how it sort of plays out. We've been trying to dig into sort of each aspect of it and finding a way to add something unique per character as well. So each of the now 8 playable characters that are in the party, we're trying to sort of create an identity for each of those characters that changes how a player may interact with those sort of like quick time events or certain things. And as an example, Attila, the main character, he's sort of our classic, JRPG hero. He's a sword fighter who has magical abilities as well. He's a great sort of all-rounder, and his true potential is sort of unlocked down the road. So for him, he plays very much like if you're playing Mario RPG or something like that, he has a lot of timed button pressing mechanics. He'll build his sort of technique points, the special combat currency for doing some of the strongest abilities. He'll gain that through sort of very straightforward means. Like if he gets critical hits, he gets a bonus amount of this TP points and stuff like that. Whereas the second character, Alistair, is our Obsidian Mage. He's like our quintessential elementalist, sort of destruction magician. And for him, instead of having these sort of timed mechanics, he's got this sort of really unique system called the skill sequencer. And shout out to both Rambi and Bio for absolutely like kicking ass working on that whole project. Rambi did the artwork for the sequencer, and Bio did all the code. And so basically he gets, instead of just like, okay, you pick spell, you cast Fyra or Fyraga or ESP, whatever, you get to build the spell right on the fly. So you choose an element, this sort of relic sort of appears with 3 rotating globes on it, and you pick an element. So you're going to do frost or lightning or fire or something like this, and then you pick how you want to augment that spell. Do you want to focus the element? Do you want to spread the element? These sort of things. And depending on how you augment this, and you unlock other augments through the skill tree, you can take like, let's say, Frost, for example. If you focus it, he's going to summon these sort of ice shard crystals, and they're going to attack a single enemy. He can also spread it to create more like a blizzard effect, and he can also create a weather condition that persists for rounds, like a snowstorm, that will have some sort of passive benefits and negative benefits. So if you create a weather pattern like a blizzard, enemies visibility and accuracy goes down. They're more likely to get frozen solid if you're using more frost spells on it. But like the accuracy thing can also negatively impact the player too. So there's like, and each character is like this. Roland, our alchemist, you're going to be able to craft potions and things on the fly, and turn them into bombs or make them more healing stuff. And so we're trying to kind of create, each character has its own sort of combat hook. And I think that people are really going to like that, because it lets it feel fresh to try new characters in a way that's not just a different set of armor and a different set of abilities. They feel like they have their identity, and I think that's going to be a big thing for us.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could totally see all of that. I mean, unique mechanics are going to make the battles feel fresh every single time that you use them. And if a new character is associated with that mechanic, it changes the way the flow of the battle is going to take place with each of them. I'm noticing we're almost out of time though, so I feel like I need to let you guys get any last minute shout outs that you'd like to make, or point anybody towards any particular pages that you might have, whether that is to the YouTube page for the game, the Kickstarter page, or wherever they can find you, or anything else you want to showcase before we move on to the next guest.
Sure. So if you're looking to follow us on social media, we're on Twitter and Blue Sky, Instagram, and if you still use it, we do technically have a Facebook page. I think the best thing, if you wanna follow the game and everything, though, would be to join our Discord server. You'll be able to find links to all of our other pages, our website, social media, YouTube channel, and all of that sort of good stuff. But we all do post in there most frequently. So if you want to follow along and see what we're working on and catch some glimpses of everything, and we also do, community events and stuff like that. Discord would be the best place to catch us. And if you're just hearing about the game now, I know there's probably a few of our backers in chat too. But yeah, this next year is going to be huge for us. So everything that we've all been working towards is to release the demo for the game, as well as a private beta test for our backers, which if somebody wants in on that private beta test, you totally still can. You've just got to get onto our Kickstarter page or our backer kit page, and become a backer at any tier, even the lowest. You can donate a dollar and you can get access to that. So so we'll have some more announcements early in the year. We'll have a new trailer coming out, and the demo and everything else. So yeah, if you're interested, there will be a lot to dig your teeth into this year.
Thank you very much, Prim. Rambi, Biosic, do you guys have anything else you want to add?
I do not myself. I do not have socials. I am a little mushroom person that has grown out of a rock and has somehow managed to land a coding job. I am, once this is over, I'm going to go back into the forest and then melt into the earth, I guess.
What about you, Rambi? Anything you want to throw out there?
Nothing massive in particular. I make a game. If any of you want to look at that on my socials.
You should check it out. It's awesome.
Absolutely check it out. You Are a Failed Murderer is the name by which this game goes.
If you want to go ahead and actually post something in the chat, like a link to that would be fantastic, Rambi. And again, I appreciate you guys for popping in, but it looks like it's about time for us to move on to the next couple of guests that'll be rolling through. So again, I appreciate you guys popping in, and I'm really looking forward to updates on this game, and I'm definitely going to be playing it on stream when it releases.
Thank you so much for having us, Spooks. It's so awesome.
Yeah, you guys.
Thanks
Happy to be here.
for having me.
I'll be looking for more updates. So if you guys want to get some more stuff out, don't be afraid to reach out, man.
Done.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Catch y'all later.
Catch y'all later.
Bye-bye.